I reached across the long candlelit table to hold my wife's hand, a simple reflex born of 8 years together, but before my fingers could touch hers, she pulled away and smirked like I was an inconvenience. The room went quiet in my head, though her friends were laughing loudly around us. Crystal glasses clinked, someone poured more wine, and I felt every eye shift toward me. I tried to smile, thinking maybe she was joking. That's when she tilted her head and said, softly but clearly, "Please don't embarrass me in front of people." And just like that, something inside me cracked beyond repair. At first, I thought I'd misheard her. Embarrass her? By holding her hand? This was the same woman who once refused to fall asleep unless my fingers were intertwined with hers. Her friends, Amanda, Claire, and Daniel, exchanged glances that weren't subtle enough. Amanda hid a grin behind her napkin. Daniel sipped his drink like he'd been waiting for this moment. My wife leaned back in her chair, crossing her legs, as if distancing herself from me physically proved some unspoken point. I felt reduced, smaller than the chair I was sitting on, like a guest at my own marriage. The humiliation didn't end there. When Claire joked about clingy husbands, my wife laughed the loudest. "He's just very traditional," she added, as if explaining a flaw in a product she regretted buying. Traditional. That word echoed in my mind. Was loving my wife openly outdated now? I looked around the table, suddenly noticing how she dressed differently lately, how she spoke sharper, how she corrected me more often in public. The dinner wasn't just a gathering, it felt like a stage. And I was the punchline she needed to impress an audience. Halfway through the meal, she checked her phone under the table. The screen lit up her face in a way I hadn't seen all evening. Soft, attentive, almost excited. When I leaned slightly to glance, she angled it away with practiced ease. "Work," she whispered dismissively, though it was Saturday night. I remembered the late meetings, the sudden gym memberships, the way she'd started locking the bathroom door. Patterns formed in my head like dark clouds gathering. Maybe tonight wasn't just about embarrassment. Maybe it was about distancing herself before a bigger confession. After dessert, Daniel insisted on a toast. "To courage," he said, eyes flicking toward my wife. She raised her glass, smiling in a way that felt secretive. My stomach tightened. Courage for what? When I asked what he meant, she squeezed his arm lightly and replied, "Just inside jokes." Inside jokes I wasn't part of. That realization hurt more than her earlier comment. I wasn't just being mocked. I was being excluded from something brewing right in front of me. The dinner table felt like a courtroom, and I was the last to realize the verdict had already been decided. On the drive home, silence stretched between us like a canyon. I finally asked her why she said what she did. She sighed dramatically, staring out the window. "You don't understand the image I'm trying to build," she said. "Image. Not life. Not marriage. Image." She explained how my public affection made her look weak, how she needed to appear independent, unattached, powerful. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, realizing she wasn't apologizing. She was justifying. In her mind, I wasn't her partner. I was an accessory that no longer matched the version of herself she wanted displayed. When we reached home, I didn't go inside immediately. I sat in the driveway, replaying every moment from the past year. The unexplained absences. The new passwords. The subtle contempt. Tonight hadn't killed our marriage. It had revealed the body. I turned to her and asked one final question. "Is there someone else?" She didn't deny it quickly. That pause was louder than any confession. Then she said calmly, "It's complicated." That was the moment I understood. Complicated means yes, but I don't want to look guilty saying it outright. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I simply stepped out of the car and walked inside to pack a small bag. She followed, asking where I was going, as if my reaction surprised her. I looked at her, not with anger but with clarity. "You said I embarrass you," I replied. "I won't make that mistake again." Her smirk from dinner flickered into something uncertain. But it was too late. The marriage hadn't died in a dramatic explosion. It died in a whisper, at a dinner table, when love became something she was ashamed to hold.